That's 3d4. Page and Mr. Ziragoose. Okay, we all look ready, so let's get going. And welcome, welcome, welcome. This is game. Which one are we doing? Game 3A4. We've got Dryad, Mr. Cubes, Adorafield, and the Martian. Back on IO for this one. And the map. Going old school. Expansive, robotic, scavenger, and a scientist. Steel is starting high at 120. Water's a bit high, but a little bit irrelevant on IO. Glass is a bit pricey at 160. Not a huge amount of silicon. That is the only silicon. So, having a little peek here, I mean, that might make a nice scientific spot. A couple of nuclear plants, some steel mills, later on some glass, some O2. Possibly worth taking. It's a little expansive or robotic spot over here. Nice easy carbon, everything you need, a little bit of magma. Basalt.
Expansive colony founded.
Robotic colony founded.
Well, people decided scientist wasn't quite for them. Mr. Cubes, steel mills, on basalt. Adorafield going for quite a tasty little scavenger there. Using a cave. Yeah, it looks like he's using a cave there. Nice move. Steel mill. That's a little unusual. Not a bad move though, going to make some decent money off that steel mill. I'm sure the price of iron's going to get a little high. Don't believe there's enough iron coming in. Not for cubes, certainly, but price of steel is going to be able to sell a little bit down and it'll be as Larry. Dorafield are not amazed at his space in here. I know he probably wants to get hold of that carbon later, but I'm not too sure about that. A little bit vulnerable to power surges, EMPs, what have you. Cubes is the first to HQ level 2. Gonna get the O2 in. Quite a sensible idea. Adjacent O2, extra basalt, and one claim left, which you can do something nice with later. Let's have a look what Dryad's doing.
Robotic colony expanded.
Over the old expansive spot. A little bit penned in. Don't 100% like it, it's how it is. I think he could have gone north a bit. I think that would have been a little bit better for him. I know he probably wanted to be close to the aluminium, but he probably worked around the aluminium and got a little bit of space. Don't know if I like shipping basalt. I'm not sure about that. Although IO's easy enough to make fuel, so not a huge problem. Got the Martian. Seems to be doing reasonably good on a nice little robot. Everything bunched together though, again, a little bit vulnerable to EMPs. Power surges alike. Moves into a nuclear plant. Got the uranium to sort it out. Power has spiked as is usual on IO. Seeing a couple of little nuclear plants coming down. Plenty of glass. Fields possibly going overboard slightly on glass, but did manage to pick up the silicon, which good for him, but a little bit vulnerable to nukes, unfortunately. Basalt. Scavenger's a little bit. He's a little bit vulnerable to getting nuked out, but I have to see how it goes. See how aggressive the other players are. So the Martian, he's decided on 2 nuclear plants. Start dragging that price of power down.
We're not
maybe
surprised.
make a little bit
Just
for him.
disappointed in you.
And unfortunately, he fails to hit.
Expansive colony expanded.
And our Adorafield sends it straight back to him. I'd possibly not wanted to hit that spot. I'd probably going to try hit one of these. I'd assumed the goon squad would be there, but I may have tried an EMP rather than the goon, rather than power surge. Sorry, and you less chance of. Well, I suppose you got the same chance of hitting the goon, but Dryad HQ3.
Robotic colony expanded.
It's got his 3 basalt platforms, which possibly may be a little bit too many. It's expansive though, so he can afford it. Moving into some solar panels as his power source, which not hugely in favour of, but at least on IO, nice long days. So we'll have to see. They're going to make some good money if he can keep them up. Hopefully, they're not going to get shut down. He is in the most debt out of everybody, so he does need to sort his power out. Cubes, well, those glass factories don't appear to be too profitable, so they're shut off. Maybe time to rotate them into something else. Possibly rotate into oxygen, as they are on ice, as it were. Dorafield's, well, get shut down by cubes and Dryad. Pretty much all of Adorafield's tiles are shut off. And cubes makes it to a level 3. I'm going to rotate those out. Very sensible idea. Revealed shutting down Dryad's power. No, sorry, Martian's power, the robot. Cubes just here on one single nuclear plant. Not a bad strategy, I suppose. Got 4 claims, which he's not doing anything with at the moment.
The black market
Robotic
is
colony
online.
expanded.
A little bit slow. I'd like to see those claims used and used quick. Martian definitely seems to be having the best of it. Just slow and steady with his steel mills. Got 1 single iron collected down, which is making fantastic money for him. Chooses to pick up some ice, side ice. Got access to 3 there if he wants some. And 1 aluminium as well. Another iron collector.
Let the bidding begin.
So he's going to potentially make some decent money. It's the nuke. Dorafield was targeted by Dryad. It was under a nuclear plant, so it's not hugely effective at the moment. Although, given that a cave was operated off it, perhaps it was the one to hit, but it's still going to take a slant drill adjacency kind of thing from there, so Dorafield's well in with his carbon. Slant drilling with nukes around, potentially they could see a little bit more maybe.
So,
But Dorafield I think could definitely get aggressive. He's got a lot of money in the carbon, especially with the shortage coming on. I'd
The
really
black
like him to
market
sell
is
this down
online.
now, ignore the upgrade. You can take out cubes, you can take out Dryad, you can take out the Martian. The game, I think, is here for Dorafield's taking if you wanted it. Yeah, let's watch Dorafield and see what he does. Come on, Dorafield. Ah, no, I think that was a bad move. So, looking at it, he's still got 92k. I really want him to sell it down now. Come on, sell a lot of the carbon, come on. Get 90,
Expansive colony expanded.
100k cash in your pocket. Take the Martian out. You take cubes out. You take cubes maybe and Dryad out. This is pretty disappointing.
The black market is online.
Now we've got tremors coming down. Still annoyed at Dorafield not doing a majority buy. Wow, Dorafield's still sitting on a big pile of cash. The Martian
Robotic colony expanded.
takes an upgrade, probably a wise upgrade. He's not at risk of being bought out, unlike Cubes and Dryad, who Dorafield still has not made a move on. Which I
Expansive
find
colony expanded.
really strange. I got another carbon shortage, this is just crazy. is just absolutely crazy. There's no hacker arrays. And that's the second carbon short in very short notice. I mean, why? Look at that. He could have both of them. He literally could sell all his carbon down, buy cubes and dryad. Come on, Dorfield, please. Just sell your carbon. Definitely a missed opportunity. Dorfield going a long way to take one single little tile, which isn't going to bring much O2 through for him. Yeah, he's in no danger, he can defend himself really easily, but he's missed an opportunity, and if he gets bought out, well... I'm slightly worried because the Dorfield doesn't really seem to have any kind of access to ice, which is pretty darn important. There's a couple over here which I think would have been probably better for him to take rather than just take that one single one. He's denied the Martian, but still not ideal. The Martian's making quite a lot of cash. Really, most of it's come in. Let's have a little look. Losing a fortune on those.
Expansive
Food's his
colony
best one
expanded.
at the moment, making plenty of power. And this triangle here, doing very nicely out of fuel. Fuel has stayed high. Because I don't believe enough people are in it. The fuel's being used by these water processors, which are losing money, every single one of them. There's just not enough fuel being
get this.
built.
Bid now before it's too late.
There's one here, there's a couple spread here, but not doing any kind of work at the moment, unfortunately. And looking at the off-world markets, nothing immediately jumping out. O2 looks fantastic if you find a cheap source of O2, but until the price falls a bit, it's not the best launch. I'm not sure how much value transparent aluminium is, given that aluminium is so pricey, but as it's half the price of glass, it's still worth picking up, but could have not bought it for 16k and spent 16k on glass and less aluminium, and you'd be about even. So it went for what it's worth, but nobody's making a profit on it, really. Not off-world wise, anyway. Dorfield can do some food here, which I kind of think fuel is the way.
Expansive colony
I think allowing
expanded.
the Martian to dominate the fuel market has been pretty bad for all the other players. Martian has been attracting a good deal of black market attention along with the Dorfield. Dorfield obviously could have prevented some of the black market by buying out one of his,
The
or
black
even two of his
market is
opponents
online.
when he had the chance. Big misstep, and now look at him, Martian has definitely got his boots on a Dorfield, and he's halfway to a buyout there. It's not going to take the Martian very long to clean this up, I don't think. Just to take down a Dorfield with cubes and dryad have suffered, I think. They've got into a decent amount of debt. Not exactly sure how. I think they're covering their life support and their power a bit, so historic debt and interest ticks. Martian hasn't had those problems because he's the robotic, so as long as he's got power running all the time, he's pretty much sorted. He's not really going to slip into a huge amount of debt. I kind of think superconductor there was a little bit unnecessary. He has got synthetic meat and liquid batteries, so
The
an
black
optimization
market
sensor
is
would be
online.
very advisable. And the Martian, he's still a fair way from cleaning up Dorfield. Dryad has been sitting over here, and we haven't really taken much of an interest in Dryad. He's expensive, and he's making a fair amount of money. Especially iron collectors, make an absolute fortune. So he's doing pretty well. Obviously a bit of an O2 surplus. Sorry, surplus? A shortage. He is very short of O2. Not bringing enough for his needs. But rather than put up a space elevator, which I still don't think is making very much money. Well, O2's the launch, but it's going to put massive pressure on the price of O2. Not sure long term an off the market is the way to go. Not with the state of O2 on the map, there's just not enough O2 in the market to bring the price down anytime soon, so 30k launches are going to be dropping off pretty significantly once people start buying up O2.
The space elevator is complete. Let's watch our profits climb.
Carbon seems to be a major profit source here for Adora Fields. I mean, compared to Dryad, he's not really making a lot of money. Easy money, but not a huge amount. Cubes is... he's stuck in his D levels of debt. 260 in the hole, so he's not coming back. Now he's frantically been buying cookbooks. Interesting to see how many cookbooks he's actually bought. It's got to be quite a few, at least 3. Dryad, on the other hand, has also must have bought 3. Wow, I have rarely seen cookbook at that price. So the story here, I think, is Dryad and Mr. Cubes are struggling with debts. The Martian, while we were off, has put up a space elevator,
New
which
land is available for option.
again, O2 is not the launch. He's auto. Somebody Dryad is auto launching O2 without realising rubbish. Doorfield slipped down into D. The Martian, however, has managed his debt quite well. He's made a packet of fuel, which has now dropped off. So water processor at the moment are his best market. Could probably do with getting rid of some food. Move it into water pumps. So much more profitable for him, I think. Just that single chemical making good money, but suppose it's fine. Another nuclear plant now. It's going to make a little bit more money off power. In 300 odd a second, which is pretty respectable. So the Martian looks like he's going to easily deal with the Doorfield. Unfortunately, Cubes has managed to drag himself back into B levels of debt. Mainly with core samples, I think. He's paid a little bit of debt off via power, but struggling, I think.
The black market is online.
So his water condensers doing fantastically, as is O2, but that's about it. Seems to be struggling to actually make some profits, but he's got 3 optimization centers running, so 2 I think was one of the important ones to upgrade. Perhaps more important
The
than
engineers have
water or
advanced our production.
food. I probably prioritised oxygen production, ramped as much as I could into it. But the chems are up at a stupid price.
Our hackers have compromised the trading service.
Optimization center
Doorfield, well, he's on the verge of being bought out. The Martian is easily going to deal with him. So there we go, he just has to sell a few resources, and Doorfield will be owned by him. Martian is also dominating on IO. Come on, you must be... you're there. Sell something, there we go.
going up.
So, the Martian is definitely in a dominant position at the moment.
Our methods continue to improve.
So it looks like his next target is going to be Dryad, who seems to have got rid of a lot of his debts. I'm guessing he paid cash for all of that debt to pay it off. I'm not sure that it's really going to work out for him. He is definitely being stalked by the Martian, without question.
The black market is online.
think, I mean, Adorfield is eventually going to be a pretty good sub. Not doing too badly, plenty of money coming in for those Chem Labs for him. Cubes is probably in second place, but it's very difficult to see how he's going to earn enough money to over Martian. Now the Martian stock price is so high, and he's not too far off in buying Dryad.
Profits rising.
Yeah, he's got that last share quite easily, and yep, cent of the way there. There's plenty of things he could be selling down,
Optimization routine
make it a little bit
successful.
quicker. Instead, he's chosen to move into a second space elevator. Don't think that's really needed at the moment.
You caught the dirty rat trying to break our stuff.
He has paid 110k for it, which I think he probably has.
The engineers have advanced our production.
Picked up transparent
Your stock is being
Dryads.
sold.
Wow.
Your stock
Martian's
is
just
being
paid
sold.
110k for that second
The
space elevator.
is finished and
Wow.
ready to go.
That's a lot of money, and I don't know if he's going to really make that back any time soon. I think it'll be much better buying stock with that 100k to that second elevator, but I think he can probably afford a misstep. He's got the red button on Dryad, so it's just a question now of cleaning up Mr. Cubes. Mr. Cubes selling one of his stock, two of his
Our
stock.
methods continue to improve.
Gonna make it easy for him, I think. I think he sees the writing on the wall. Which is fair enough. Can't say fairer than that.
Successful elevator going up. Profits rising.
And there we go. Red button there for the Martian. Nice. GG. Oh dear. Field. Need to be too happy. Alright then. Let's have a quick look at charts and graphs. Right, jolly good. Well, GG to everybody, well played. Thank you all for watching. I have to disappear, unfortunately. But tune in to the bonus match on Thursday, and the final round next Saturday. Good. All right, catch you later. Ta.